So when you've got players that have played in a final, as we have,
Yeah.
Some of them, as you said, maybe they're not handling it quite as well as you might have hoped. Is it a difficult job to explain to them why they're not playing on a regular basis, or why you may be moving them on? I mean, do they understand that themselves, or do you have to tell them and then it comes as a big shock?
You have to tell them, but there's a period of time leading up to the time that you tell them where the penny's dropping. It only drops when you tell them. It's not nice because a lot of people have worked very hard, players, to get this club into the Championship, and a lot of the players didn't even get a chance of the Championship last year because I couldn't bring the whole squad through, and that's a killer. That really hurts you, and that stays with you for a little while because you're saying thanks for getting me to the Championship, but I'm sorry, I've decided you're not Championship. And that was very difficult, although from the boys that all left, nobody's come back and bit us on the bum and is playing at a higher level or the same level as us. The only one is Danny Byrne, and of course, that wasn't down to us. So, and now we've got players that we've given that opportunity to, of 10, 11 players. Some need a bit more opportunities because they haven't had enough. But we think about everything, and I can understand how people outside will say, well, why are you not playing him? Why are you not playing him? We work with them every day, and we can only pick what we think is the best team to compete on that day. But everybody eventually will get their opportunity and prove whether they're good enough or not. And we have to make those decisions, and that's what we get paid for.
Right, this is the one then. You ready?
I'm ready. Go on.
Referee decision. Now, everybody's saying we have had some shockers. Without wanting to drop you in it in terms of the Football League and what have you, I mean, how do you cope with that? It must be so frustrating.
It is frustrating, and it was very, very frustrating a couple of weeks ago because we was asking for feedback, which you're allowed to ask for, and we wasn't happy with our feedback because it was like a sheet of paper that just said, no, don't be a silly boy, we agree with the ref and see you later sort of thing. It was like a fobbing you off a little bit. So that was a bit disappointing. So I ended up asking for a feedback of the feedback because I wasn't happy with that. And then, to be fair, the heads of certain organisations came back to me. I put a little DVD together with your help, our media help, and I asked them, please could you look at these particular incidents and come back to me. Don't give me like a feedback as to unlucky mate, that we believe the ref was right. If you think he's right, then ring me up and tell me. If you think he's wrong, then please ring me up and tell me. With all due respect, they did, and they believe, like we believed, that we was hard done by against Reading. Wasn't a penalty. They believed that it was a penalty against Engu in that same game. They've now looked at the situation with the offside at Sheffield Wednesday and believe that that could now be construed as offside. FIFA brought out a rule that you could only be offside if you was, I don't know exact words, but if you was within playing distance. Well, we all know the lad was in playing distance because he ran after the ball. Anyway, so people have agreed that we deserved, you don't always get what you deserve, but we deserved certainly 6 or 7 more points from decisions that they believe were wrong decisions. Now, I respect them for that more now than I did before I had the conversation, because we know nobody's biased. We know that sometimes it's hard to referee a game, but a lot of things have come out of it, and I think there's been a lot of good discussion with the referees over certain things that I've put forward. There's other clubs that have put things forward as well. The handball suddenly has changed to, it was always, it has to be, you have to have meant to have handballed it, but they were obviously giving penalties when the ball just hit your hand, and defenders have started defending with their hands behind their back. How's that right? We had to change all the coaching books. But anyway, it's got to be an intentional handball now, so that sort of slightly changed as well. And all us managers do, we know we're not going to get anything back. We're just trying to help with the consistency of decisions. So it doesn't give us the points back, but I did take it as far as we needed to, and we ended up getting a decent response and people being spoken to as to, it's now become a coaching sort of video, some of them incidences, where they ask people, what do you think, and etc. So we've done, I hope, a little bit of good in the game, along with a lot of the other managers that do that.
But the one decision you haven't mentioned is the Bolton one, where the bloke was way over the line. I mean, what did you must have spoke to the referee after the game? What supporters would love to know. I mean, what did you say? What did he say?
Well, the referee didn't have a bad game on that day. It wasn't him. It was the linesman who actually was in a super position, because when you stop it, he was right on the line, and the referee's head people said it was 2 foot over the line. And you could see that from the stills of it was obvious. And when we sent asking for the feedback, and we sent the actual situation, and we showed them the DVD, and they agreed, that it, in their opinion, it was over the line. So it wasn't a goal. So there's another 2 points we lost, because obviously we drew instead of winning. So, and what happens to that linesman now, I don't know. It's a genuine mistake. I'm sure he's not going to get shot at dawn, sort of thing. But
what did he say to you, though? I mean, I'm not pressing you too hard on it, but I mean, you must have obviously. We haven't got a bleeper here, by the way.
Yeah.
But presumably you said something, and what was his response?
Well, the response is, as it has to be. It has to be quiet, professional. They can't get in a row, and evidently it doesn't help us. But the linesman was very disappointed that he'd made the wrong decision, of course, which you do, and but it's gone. You know what I mean? And we'll only bring it up at the next review that we have on video. But let's hope it don't cost us anything more than some early points.
Just final one, Gary. I mean, motivating a team, any team, is a difficult job. Man management, we all know, is one of the most difficult jobs in the world to do. At what point do you get where you stop, as it were, verbally slaughtering them and put your hand around their shoulders? I mean, is there a sort of a point, cut-off point? You think, well, I can't keep slaughtering them. I need to sort of motivate them another way. Do you reach a point there? Yeah,
as you say, you put your arm around them, you walk them to the bus stop and say, here's your bus. See you later. When it gets to that point, and you do, and you have to. It's a little bit like an army situation or a war situation. You've got to take people to war that you can trust and that can do the job. And if they can't do the job, then you're likely to get a bullet in your back, or someone accidentally fall over, because you've got flat feet or something, and obviously that's why they don't get in. And you get shot in the back of the head or something. You've got to be sure that you keep taking the group that you trust to the next game, the next level, so on and so forth. When it gets to the stage where you stop coaching somebody and you stop motivating them, at that point they've stopped motivating you anyway. And that's the time you have to say, I'm ever so sorry, it's not working out. You're not going to be playing here, you need to move on. And yes, it's sad, because often they're nice people. But what I do know is that over the years, if I've done that to somebody, they haven't come back and showed me that they were that level or higher, because they've not ended up higher than where they left me with. So, and that's not, I'm trying to be clever, because there's some nice people in that, and some of them are making a good living at sort of lower levels. But we've also brought people up and made them a good living by taking them up through the leagues, So I think your recruitment is important, but then your judgment at the end of the day is very important. And obviously results show you that as well. But mainly, if an individual's letting you down at this level, you can pick it out pretty quick.
Well, thanks, Gary. You've been very frank and open, and I'm sure the supporters will appreciate that. Just one last quick one I just thought of.
Here it is.
No, it's not the referees. International break. Do you like them, or do you find they're a nuisance?
Well, the lads seem to like them. They've all shot off very quickly today. We've had a big couple of days. We've had a bit of character building in our last couple of days. Lots of 1v1s. We've had a 12-minute run. We've had games where the losers had forfeits, not funny ones, hard work ones. We've done some real big heavy work in the gym, and I just wanted to see who was going to come through it. 98% of them have come through it very well, and I'm pleased with that, and I'm happy now to say go and have a couple of days off, come back on Monday and be ready. Whereas some I've had to say you haven't quite coped with all that, which means you may not be in the team when the game comes round next weekend. So but it's been a real cut and thrust, let's say, a few days, and some people have stepped up to the plate.
Good. Well, thanks, Gary. It's a great interview, and I'm sure the lads and the supporters will enjoy it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We thank them before you switch off. I'd like to thank our supporters for their support, because that has really been fantastic. Don't give up on us. That's really important, please, because we will turn it round so that we don't leave ourselves in trouble for too long. Just give me time to find the right squad, the right group. And also, Hewish Park has become fun. There's been great support here. We got our first goal. That was a start, for a little while. But we played some real big teams here at Hewish, and most of the time we've been in on all the games. And a lot of that is down to the players, but a lot of it is down to the supporters who've stayed behind us, and the ones we see when we go up north, and they've travelled all the way to Middlesbrough. They've travelled, it's unbelievable, and that is a supporter going beyond the call of duty. So, a big thank you to them, and just a little point, we need them. The players need them, I need them. They're the motivation that we get to perform.